Today we're reviewing the Qidi Plus 5 and I'm going to share my experience with the machine over the last few weeks. Now, before we get into this review, Qidi did provide this machine to the channel at no cost. However, as always here on the channel, in order to be considered a review, a manufacturer does not get to review the video before it goes live. So all thoughts are my own, all comments are my own. Qidi had no input on this video and they're seeing it at the same time you are. So with all of that out of the way, let's get into it. All right, so this machine comes at a very interesting time. I feel like we're in the thick of it when it comes to the tool changer wars, and every single person I see in my comments, I feel like they're like, I want a tool changer. However, Qidi did not forget about those that don't necessarily want or need that technology. This is more made for your engineering materials, your cosplayers, the people who really aren't interested in multi-material. Now you can see here, I don't necessarily have a Qidi box, so my experience with this is probably going to be a little bit different than other people's. But one of the main things when it comes to 3D printers is the price. Now this is coming in at $669 if you're a Qidi loyalty member, meaning you have purchased a Qidi machine in the past, $699 for the initial window, and then the price will increase to $749 if you are getting the solo version. Those prices increase to $819, $849, and $899 if you are getting the combo. The build plate does come in at 320 by 320 by 300, so it's a respectable size if you're planning on printing any sort of cosplay, things like that. Most of that stuff should fit on this printer. If you're doing helmets, some of those larger helmets like the Stormtrooper helmet may not fit in one go, but one slight cut and you should be able to fit it. It does come with active chamber heating up to 65 degrees Celsius with a bed temperature of 120, and the hot end goes up to 370 degrees Celsius. Now, what are some additional features that this machine has come with? Well, everybody loves some LEDs. It does now have an LED status bar here on the front. In addition to this, they finally got rid of that silver. I think a lot of people didn't like that Cybertruck look and feel. It is a beautiful, more of like a dark gray. I personally really like it. Now, you shouldn't base your printer purchase on the color, but it does look pretty sleek, at least to me. Now, it does have two side windows as well. Now, the top is that same design that they went with, or they have been going with, where it can slide back and then you can take it off easily, but there are no clips to keep it in place. Honestly, I don't think those are needed, but it's that same kind of design. Now, for my testing of this printer, I printed with 3 different materials. I went with PLA, PETG, and ABS. Now, my experience with Qidi machines, they do stay rather warm inside the chamber. So materials like PETG and ABS ASA do perform better versus something like PLA, which is what I have in there. So what I did initially was I started with some PETG. Oh, I already dropped some. So I printed a whole bunch of Gridfinity boxes, and honestly, the quality is great. Can't really ask for much more. I didn't dry this PETG, and this is very similar results that I would see on something like my other printers of a bigger manufacturer. So very happy with the results of all these. Did not have one failure when I was printing all of these Gridfinity boxes. So these are all PETG using the same roll, multiple different rolls. So I was just pumping these parts. I probably did 40 hours of Gridfinity boxes. The next thing that I tried was some PLA. Now you can see here this giant dinosaur was printed with PLA. Now I would recommend when you're printing any sort of PLA with this printer, now you can see here real quick that the door does swing all the way open. That's a nice feature that I forgot to mention, that a lot of doors don't actually go all the way, but this one does to the extent that it can. Now, I do wish maybe the hinges were a little more on the side so you could swing it all the way, but the door does open as much as it can. But as far as printing PLA, definitely open the door and take off the lid, because like I was saying before, the internal chamber of this does stay quite hot, so you will get some lines not necessarily being up to snuff. If you're printing PLA, at least in my experience on this machine, I would take off the lid or at least open the door. You should get very quality results doing that. Now with printing PLA, that's where my one failure did come in with printing this giant dinosaur. And that was, like you can see here, it was an air print where, you know, the filament's not going into the extruder, so it potentially could have been a clog, it could have been a lot of things, but this was because of a filament tangle, so it wasn't the fault of the printer. Now, after printing the PLA and the PETG, I went straight into what's lately been my bread and butter, some ABS. Now, I did a few ABS prints. I can't necessarily put this together, but I had no warping whatsoever. Nothing came off the bed. I did use brims though, keep that in mind. I do find that the Qidi build plate is very sticky, and sometimes I have trouble getting stuff off of those build plates. That was the same issue with the Q2 as well. That's a good thing in most scenarios. So for example, when you're printing on ABS, it does stick to the build plate really well, but you need to let it cool all the way down and your ABS should just slide off. Now, if you're gonna cancel a print as well because that first layer is not perfect, I would probably let it go a few layers before you actually do, then let it cool off, because if not, you're gonna have a heck of a time getting that one single layer off the build plate sometimes. Now, with this being said, with this black ABS, I actually had the settings a little bit different than with this red. I was able to do 60 on the active heated chamber, and then I printed this at, I believe, 255 or 250. This ABS I actually printed at 270, and you can see quite a bit of ringing in it compared to these. These actually came out, like I said, almost flawless, but this was a pretty messy print. But after I started messing with some of the settings and dialing in my prints, perfect. Now remember, each one of you are going to have different print settings depending on what sort of material you're using or which brand material you're using. These are actually both the same brand. However, you can see just that 15-degree temperature did really mess with some of what was going on here. So I printed as cool as I could when it comes to the ABS to get a little bit more control over it. So just depending on the material, just play with your temperature settings in your nozzle settings or your nozzle temperature settings, and you should be able to get some really quality results if you decide to pick this printer up. Now let's talk UI. I do like the newer UI that Qidi has been going with. I've seen some conflicting opinions online. However, I do like it. The screen is not as snappy as I would like and as responsive as I would like. I would probably like something a little bit more high definition on the eyes. But look, I'm starting to nitpick this, and all machines just work. As you can see, I printed, or as we were talking, I printed all of this stuff and I only had one failure. Machines just work nowadays. So you really do have to start nitpicking them, and you get into like all of these small things when it comes to 3D printers, because again, like, they all do what they're supposed to. Now, another thing that I didn't find necessarily very pleasing was that there is this coupler on the side of the printer. Now, when I was trying to stick filament through it, sometimes it would get a little bit stuck. I had to finagle it a little bit or move it at a different angle. After you do that though, it came out perfectly fine and there was nothing really to worry about. I just found it more annoying, and it does say that you would not use this little coupler if you had the Qidi box. In addition to this, I am on Mac OS, and the latest version that I was given of the slicer did crash after every single time I would send a print to the printer. Qidi has said that they are actively working on a fix for this. I've sent them my crash reports from my Mac OS, so we'll see if that does get fixed. I assume it's going to get fixed. It wasn't an issue in the first version of the slicer they gave me. So look, to recap this machine and my thoughts on this machine, you do get a lot for your money when it comes to Qidi machines, and I think they are actively getting better as far as like the UI and small things like that. Even that LED status bar, I'm a sucker for some of that small stuff. And honestly, I'm a sucker for even a machine that looks great in comparison to something that's kind of dull and boring. As long as Qidi can fix their issues when it comes to the slicer crashing, and I'm assuming that's probably not a problem on PC, but I'm not sure 100%. You'll have to watch some other reviews and see if they mention it. But as far as that, that's really the only real major issue I ran into with this machine. Would I like it to have a better touchscreen? Potentially, sure. Would I like it to have maybe a little bit better UI when it comes to the slicer? Sure. But this machine coming in at $699 when it's really true competition in this space for a single nozzle printer, and you have the active heated chamber, you have all of these features, you have some of the Creality printers, which, depending on your preference, you may like Creality or not. And then really the main competitor and the most popular competitor in the space is going to be the H2S. Can this beat out the H2S? Well, you have to look at it. The H2S does have a bigger build plate, but this has all of the other features that it has outside of the ecosystem. So if you're a Qidi customer already, I'm pretty sure you'll be happy with this printer. So all in all, I am actually pretty happy with this machine. If you're looking to single print colors, or you're looking at something that can potentially do some of those engineering filaments, granted, I did not try it because that's not typically what I print with, but I don't think that this would have any problem handling those, especially because it does keep internal temperatures in the chamber quite well, at least in my experience. I do think that this printer will continue to be a workhorse for me, however, only time will tell. And coming in at only $699 if you are a new Qidi customer and you're not using the Qidi box, I do think that's a pretty affordable price for all of the features that this machine has. Now, one thing I also forgot to mention is that this printer is open source as well. So it's one of the few options currently that is actually fully open source, or at least that's what I've been told. So hopefully all of that code is up on launch. All in all, I do think the Qidi is worth the money, or the Plus 5 is worth the money. However, it's going to come down to you and what you need. Are you holding out for a tool changer? Is this exactly what you need? Are you in the market for something else? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure you hit the like button while you're down there and subscribe to the channel for more reviews, more 3D printer content, and all of that. So with that being said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.